As you know, Pops, we recently launched crowdsourced car dealer reviews back on the joinyaa.com website. We passed 1,000 of them.
I'm aware. Yeah. I'd give that. Yeah, the crowd goes wild. Yeah. I'm sorry.
All right, here's the deal. We're going to run through 3 dealership reviews.
Yes.
2 bad ones.
Yeah.
1 good one.
Is that because that's the ratio typically? Or?
There's more good ones than there are bad ones, and let's briefly explain. If you go to joinyaa.com/reviews, you're going to see this table that you can sort through. And on that table, it's going to have...
Coffee table?
It's going to have different dealerships that people have reviewed, the day that they purchased them, if they would sell vehicles at MSRP or above it or below it, if they add on accessories, if they add on insurance packages, if it's a used car, if they'd let you do a pre-purchase inspection. And also there's a question there, which is, how likely would you be to recommend this dealership to a friend? And then awesome commentary from the YAA community. Let's start with a bad dealership. Does that sound good?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so here is a review.
Yes.
From a YAA community member for Toyota of Melbourne, looking to purchase a Toyota GR86.
Okay.
They have a mandatory $4,000 Melbourne value package that includes floor mats, nitrogen fire fill, environmental paint protection, and an unlimited dealer warranty. They marked up the GR86 $6,000 as well. I told them I will never buy here, and I've tried to for the last 5 years. It's a joke what the dealer charges its customers and don't even give you fair trade-in values. I've known numerous people try and buy a car from here. 2/3 said they had the same experience. It's unfortunate I can't buy a Toyota locally, and it's really inconvenient. This is pretty common, unfortunately,
I'm afraid
in Florida.
so, yes. Florida is... We say it often, it's like the wild, wild west of fees and what dealers can get away with. Dock fees are at the highest levels that I've ever encountered in the state of Florida. And the dealers are very creative with the packages that they add to their vehicles to get extra money from their customers. I mean, I remember there was one dealer I ranted about that had a Central Florida friends and family fee of like $1,795.
Yep.
You know, for $1,800, I don't need any friends or family. So to see something like the Melbourne environmental package or whatever the hell they were calling it, you know, that's all inflated stuff. And then a $6,000 dealer markup on top of it. I mean, that just says to me, if we can't extract every possible penny out of you, we're not interested in selling you a car. What the tax man taketh, YAA giveth. Now through April 18th, get 20% off. Just type in tax.
I pulled up another one, which actually comes from Hgreg, and I actually have a pretty good relationship with the owner of Hgreg, which is interesting. And I remember when I saw this one come in, because they have dealerships in Florida and many other states, I emailed this one to him.
Yes.
Because the review was a 0 out of 10 that I would recommend this to a friend. It was for their Mercedes-Benz that they were selling there, a used one.
Yes.
Dealer fee of $1,000, forced me to pay $400 for 6 months of insurance on something I don't need, $500 DMV fee. I was told that the $400 insurance cost is not negotiable, and it's a deal breaker if I didn't pay. When I went home and read the documents, I noticed a small disclaimer stating that the insurance is optional. Now, I sent this to the owner of Hgreg.
Yes.
And to corroborate what you're saying about Florida, he literally replied back. He's like, we don't charge any extra fees in any state except for Florida, and we do that to be competitive. And I was like, you know what? He's got a point, but that's BS.
No. If you want to be competitive, don't charge the fees. If you want to beat the competition, don't charge the fees. Okay? Don't say, you know, we need to charge the fees to be competitive. No, I think you would drive more customers to your locations if you said, we don't charge extra fees.
You know, it'll be interesting the day that Carvana charges extra fees in Florida, because it's like,
yeah, it's the only way we can be competitive.
It is nuts, man. All right, let's do another one. I know we said.
So, and nothing against your friend, but that's a situation where your friend, as the owner, needs to say, no, cut it out. Just because the other dealers are doing it doesn't mean we need to do it.
That's why I sent it to him.
Yeah.
You know. All right. McGrath City Hyundai in Illinois. McGrath City Hyundai.
Yeah.
Two totally different pronunciations.
Yes.
Haven't purchased but contacted for a Acura. Interesting. Okay. Well, let's see what this YA community member said. Worst dealership experience I ever had. Save your time and headache, go somewhere else. I went to this dealership trying to buy an SUV. After a test drive, I asked if they could give me an out-the-door quote. They would not do that. In fact, they refused to give me anything in writing. I spent almost 2 hours, and they said a used Tucson would cost me $61,000 plus taxes and fees. I remind you, this is a pre-owned car. Not only that, but they wanted to add a warranty option on top that would cost me another $3,000. They said I didn't have to buy. They said I have to buy the extended warranty because it's part of a package, and they would not sell me the car without it. When I asked the salesperson if he can negotiate the price, he brought the manager. His name was Mohammed, and the guy was even worse. I told him that I was there to buy a car, and if he gives me a reasonable price, I would buy it. Not only did he refuse to give me a written quote, but he said we can charge whatever we want on this car because it's used, and the MSRP doesn't matter. I can go on, but I think you all get the point. Now, this is unfortunate because we are seeing more and more of this. We walked down to our local Mercedes-Benz dealership just the other day. It's like 2 blocks away. We were just looking at all the cars, and the addendum stickers on the new vehicles were crazy. Yeah. And on the used cars, they didn't even have prices on them. They didn't even have prices on the used cars. They have prices on, but they weren't advertising.
You could go to the website to see what the prices are.
It probably says call to get the price.
That 2018 G-Wagon, that was I don't know, $238,000 or something like that. They're not bashful. It's one thing to ask whatever you want to ask. You can, okay? To not be willing to even work with a customer, that doesn't show good faith. And then to say to a customer, and you must buy the warranty on top. That's not a legitimate way of doing business. That's such a short-sighted way of doing business. That's saying we want to maximize what we can make in the short term, and we'll figure out what to do in the long term because all these people that have bought cars from us in the short term will never come back to buy another one. You can only take advantage of people so often. Usually once. So I don't know. I tried to work at dealerships where our theory was we want to sell a few people a bunch of cars, not we want to sell everybody one car.
Let's switch gears to Liberty Subaru in New Jersey. 10 out of 10 likelihood that someone would recommend a friend here. A new Subaru Outback. I was looking for a specific vehicle. I sent out about 10 emails to various dealers asking for an out-the-door price on a factory order car. Of the few that responded, most were pricing way above MSRP. 2 of the dealers were charging MSRP plus standard fees. I exchanged a few emails with both, and Joey D. at Liberty Subaru was prompt with his responses. A few emails later, Joey was able to secure me the exact car I wanted for less than MSRP plus standard fees. I live about an hour from Liberty Subaru. All the paperwork was handled via email, and Joey said he'd keep me updated. It took about 12 weeks for the car to come in, and Joey reached out a few weeks in advance to say he was expecting it soon. When it was ready to be picked up, we completed the finance documents via email. I went to pick up the car and did not feel pressured to purchase anything extra. I drove away feeling good. When the plates came in, they mailed them to me, so I didn't have to drive all the way back over. I wouldn't have bought a vehicle in this market if I didn't really need it. Joey D and Liberty turned what could have been a stressful experience into a pleasant and easy one. Highly recommend.
Yeah, what do you think the odds are that this gentleman would buy another vehicle here?
Yeah, this person would go back to Joey D and is probably recommending Joey D not only online but to their friends and family.
Yes. So just by being nice and responsive and compassionate to a degree that he was willing to work with a customer, Joey D will probably get a large number of sales out of this over the next few years. This person, the buyer, we'll never forget Joey D. We will recommend Joey D. We'll recommend the dealership. And that's how you build a business. That's how you build a successful business that'll be there for years and years and years. And if I'm not mistaken, Liberty Subaru has been around for quite some time.
So there you go. That's an example of how you can use these car dealer reviews. Obviously, we're going to work on making them even better. There's a lot of vetting that we need to do. You even just saw in that Hyundai one. We got to go fix that. Should say Hyundai, not Acura. But the idea is sound. Let's make it very clear which dealers are practicing bad practices, and let's put a spotlight on the ones like Liberty Subaru that are doing things right and are actually helping people.
Yeah, we should. I don't know if there's a way to do it, but we should put stars next to the dealership names where they've gotten high ratings from customers.
All right, I'll work on that.
Okay, cool.
How many stars? Like 3?
Well, just a starred dealership. You just need 1 star, a starred dealership.
You want like an MVP ladder that I can create? Like who's going to win the most valuable dealership award, something like that?
MVD.
Ooh. I'll get busy.
Okay.
Thanks, Pops.
Thank you.